Hello everyone, my name is Adi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video we are doing my June wrap-up, a little late, but I think better late than never. And later in the video we are also doing my July hopefuls, or July TBR. I'm calling it hopefuls because I'm not very good at sticking to a TBR. I'm a huge mood reader, but I also love watching videos of people picking their TBRs with TBR prompts, so that's what I'm doing today as well. The first book I read this month was Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I absolutely adore this book. I gave it 4.5 stars and in my opinion it's the best Elsie Silver book I've read, or that she's released so far at least. We're following Skylar, who is a pop singer who's trying to revamp her image, I suppose you can say, and also Weston Belmont, who is a single dad who lives on kind of like a ranch, I suppose. He lives in a big house and he has horses and other stuffs, and we're following their love story. And I thought this was perfection. I loved it a lot. So if you're looking for a single dad small town romance, this is right up your alley and I highly recommend it. Then I read Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. I also adore this book. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was fun. It's a dark stalker romance mixed with a rom-com, and it's just the perfect mixture. We're following Allie, who is a trauma nurse, or like an ER nurse, who also has a weakness for this account on TikTok, which is a masked man who does thirst traps. And we also follow the point of Josh, which, look at that, he is the masked man. He finds out that she loves him very much and he starts to stalk her to see how much she actually likes him. This book was funny. It was a little dark, so I suggest you read the trigger warnings, but I love this. It was romantic, it was dark, it was spicy, and yeah, it was a great book. Then I also read Little Stranger by Lee Rivers. This is probably the darkest book I've read, but it's taboo romance. They are adoptive siblings and I love taboo romances. I thought this book was great. It was very dark, and again, read the trigger warnings if you are sensitive for certain stuffs, but I thought it was a very quick book. I think it's just over 200 pages, so I think I finished it in a day. It was fun, it's dark, it's spicy, and I gave it 3.5 stars. Then I have a reread. I read Book Lovers. Me and my mom actually read the book together. I've recently introduced her to Emily Henry, and it was a long time since I read Book Lovers and I really wanted to read it again, so we just kind of read it at the same time last month. I gave this book 5 stars. I love Emily Henry, I love this book, and it's also a small town romance, kind of academic rivals a little bit, and I love this. It's one of Emily Henry's best books in my opinions, and yeah, I give it 5 stars. Then last month I discovered that I don't mind audiobooks if the narrator is good, and I listened to The Cock Down the Block by Amy Award and Lucia Cosi, I think that's how you say it. I'm gonna put a picture of every book right here because I don't, like I said in my last video, I borrow like 90% of my books from the library, and since we're a little bit into the next month I already had to return them, so that's why I don't have any to show up, but I'm gonna put a picture of them here. I thought this book, it's a cute, fun romance with not a lot happening. There was like friends to lovers sort of thing. He's a famous football player, I think, and she's his best friend. They know each other for a really long time, and they have feelings for each other, but no one wants to say anything to ruin the relationship. And I just thought it was a silly, cute time, and I gave it 3.25 stars. I'm gonna see if I can find the narrators. The narrators' names is Christian Fox and Stella Hunter, and I thought they did a amazing job. Then I read one of my most anticipated releases of the year, which is Fearless by Lauren Roberts. I have a little bit of a beef with this book. I loved 90% of this book. I gave it 4 stars. But the ending, there's something that happens in the ending that I thought it ruined a lot of things for me, and I just thought it was unnecessary. But I'm gonna pretend that didn't happen and that everything was fine, and yeah, we don't talk about that. It's okay, I'm just gonna pretend that it didn't happen. So I'm just saying I love the series, and yeah, 4 stars. It was a great conclusion, except that little thing that happened, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna pretend it didn't happen. Last but not least, I read also one of my most anticipated releases of the year, which is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars, I think. Yeah, 4 stars. I have read a lot of mixed reviews on this book, and I understand it doesn't really feel... On one side, it doesn't really feel like an Emily Henry book, but on the other, it really, really does. And let me just tell you what the book is about. We're following 2 authors, our main character Alice and her academic rival Hayden, who comes to this little island to kind of compete about writing a memoir for a long lost she comes from a famous family. She disappeared 30 years ago. Now Hayden and Alice found her, and they are competing to write her memoir. And of course a lot of things happens around there. There's some romance, and I actually really, really enjoyed the romance in this book. I really felt the chemistry between Alice and Hayden, and even though it didn't really feel like her other books, I still think that she did a fantastic job writing this one. And yeah, I give it 4 stars. Now we're getting into the fun part of this video. We are choosing my July hopefuls. I do have a little TBR jar right here with about, I think it's actually 30 or 31 prompts in here. Then I'm just gonna pick one and see what we will read. I will pick 6 books. We are actually, I think it's Monday, July 7th when I'm filming this video, so the month has already started. But I'm feeling optimistic. I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks, and I hope that I will read a lot of good books, or that I will get the time to read a lot of books while I'm there. So I am going to pick 6 prompts. As you can see behind me, here is, I'm actually going to show you here, starting right there, we have my physical TBR of the books that I do own. And then right behind me here is some books that I picked up from the library. I also have a few other books in my main bookshelf, but these are just the books that I feel like is going to be what I mostly want to read this month. And yeah, without further ado, let's just pick the first prompt. Let's see what's it gonna be. The first book is a title that starts with the. Let's see actually if I can figure this out. Anyway, title starts with the. Let's see, I have 1, 2. Let's pick out my options. Okay, so I actually have 5 options for this. We have The Green Mile by Stephen King, which is kind of, I have actually already started this book. I'm about halfway through, about 2 months ago, but I had to put it down. Then we have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which I'm actually super excited about. They have just gotten this into my library, and yeah, I'm leaning towards this one. Then we also have an oldie, or not really old, but it was popular a few years ago, The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. We also have, I'm sorry, I didn't have the energy to pick this apart and then put it back together. We have The Book of Asriel by Amber B. Nicole, which is book number 1 in the Gods and Monsters series. We also have The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I am actually leaning towards The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. What I'm told, this is like Criminal Minds, but with young adults who have special gifts, and that sounds right up my alley. So we have our first book of the month. Let's do our next prompt, which is going to be a book that's been on my TBR for a long time. And let's see. As I said, I'm going to pick both from the books I've gotten from the library and books I do own. And I am going to maybe cheat a little bit with this question, because I'm not going to put that's been on my physical TBR, but that's just on my reader TBR that I want to read, that I've wanted to read for a really long time, and I already know what book I'm going to choose. And that is also a book from the library, and it's Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. This is a romance. It's an age gap romance, and she is, I don't know if she fell in love or if they're just hooking up, but it's a romance between her and her boyfriend's dad. I have read 2 books from Penelope Douglas before. I read, what's it called, Punk 57, about 2 years ago. I hated it. I realized bullet romance is not for me. Then I read Credence in the beginning of the year, which is more of a taboo romance, and I loved it. And my problem is I really like Penelope Douglas's writing, but a lot of her books has the bully romance trope, and I don't fuck with that, so that's my only problem. But I'm very, very excited to read Birthday Girl. Let's pick our next prompt. Let's do this one. A small town romance. Let's see what our options are. I think we only have 2 options for this one, and the first one is Wild Side by Elsa Silver, which is book number 3 in the Rose Hill series. This one follows Reese and Tabitha, and I do feel like I want to read this, but I'm leaning more towards Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks. This is Marriage of Convenience, actually. Just look at this cover, it's so freaking cute. It's also not very long, it's about 340 pages or something, so I think it's gonna be a quick read, and I really want to take this on holiday with me, so I'm going to pick this book up. Let's pick prompt number 4. We have a female author. Well, this shouldn't be hard because I think like 99% of my books is by female authors. So I'm just going to pick. My 4 options is Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. This is also fake dating, brother's best friend sort of thing, and I'm super excited to read this. Also, look how cute the inside of this is. It's also a very floppy book that I'm super in love with. Then we also have Never Been Shipped by Alicia Thompson, which is also kind of friends to lovers, a band reunion kind of thing, which sounds very interesting to me. We also have Fan Service by Rosie Danan or Danan. This is also, I think, a little bit enemies to lovers, but also a cute story that I'm excited to read. And then we have Butcher and Blackbird by Breen Weaver, which I'm also super excited about. And I'm leaning towards either Till Summer Do Us Part or Butcher and Blackbird. I'm kind of thinking what other prompts we have if I'm gonna be able to pick one of these up. I could read them even though I don't get them in this video, but I think I'm gonna pick Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn, which is, as I said, fake dating, brother's best friend. It looks and sounds like the perfect summer read, so that's what I'm gonna pick. Let's see, 2 more prompts and then we're done for the day. Let's take this small one. A book with animal on the cover. I don't really know actually if I do have any books with animals on the cover, so let me just check real quick. I actually found 3 books with animals on the cover. This is a little bit of a stretch. It's Butcher and Blackbird, but there are doves or swales or something. Swallows, I think it's called. Not swales, sorry. Swallows or something up here in the corner. So that could be an option. Then we also have Wolf Song by TJ Klune, which, as you can see, has a wolf on the cover. And then we have The Prayer of the Orange Tree, which has a dragon on the cover. I could do this. I'm cheating a little bit with doing this because I only have this much left of it and I really want to finish this. But I also... Actually, I am going to choose Prayer of the Orange Tree. This is a thick book. It's about 800 pages or something. As I said, I have about 200 pages left. I am really enjoying this book. I just needed a little bit of a break because it is quite slow, but I think I need a little bit of a fantasy mix in with all the romance, and this is what I'm going to choose for my 5th read. Okay, our last prompt for this video is going to be, let's do this one. Read a spicy romance. Okay, I have 2 options here. You can't, unless it says on the back that it's going to be spicy, you can't really be too sure. But 2 books that I feel like I'm positively sure it's going to be spicy, it's Wild Side by Elsa Silver and Butcher and Blackbird, and I feel like I'm gonna have to choose Butcher and Blackbird for this one, actually. I'm just very excited to read about. I don't even know if I told you what this is about. This is what I've heard about 2 serial killers make up some sort of friendship, and then they meet up once a year to compete for the same kill, I think, and then it kind of evolves to romance and will they or won't they get caught and something like that. And I've heard a lot of great things about this and I'm super excited to finally be able to get in on the juiciness of Butcher and Blackbird. Okay, we actually have quite the stack here. Let me tell you about all the books. We have Butcher and Blackbird by Breen Weaver as our first book. Then we have Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. We have Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks. We have Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. we have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and last but certainly not least, we have The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I feel like we have, to me this is the perfect stack. We have some cute romance, we have some taboo romance, we have some thrillery vibes, and we have some fantasy, and I do love a good selection to choose from. We'll see if these books get read before the end of the month. I do really hope so, and if you're curious, I guess you just have to come back by the end of the month to see my July wrap-up. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment anything you like down below. Comment if you do monthly TBR, so if you're a mood reader like me, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!